Hello there my friend, how have you been? So of course we have the final journey, being the castle event that is currently ongoing as part of the final Divine Time Rift event in DML. And like most people at the moment, I'm still on level 3. I've only opened up one chest at the moment and we're going to go and open up another chest in a second. But you know, a lot of people have been asking the important question of which chests are the cheapest ones to go for first, because obviously if we want to make our way to level 6 as fast as possible, we need to be opening up the cheapest chests. And I did talk about this yesterday, that the DML wiki always has a special event page for every single major event in DML, and if we scroll down you can see that we've got every single level listed, with all of the elements that are allowed for every level, and each of these comes with a special preview image of the map. And this does show us which tiles cost, you know, what amount. So technically, if you do all the calculations, you can work out which pathway is the cheapest. And so to basically cut everything short, I've done this for every single level now. You know, if there's any errors, sue me, but I don't think there's too many if there are. But I've got the cheapest paths listed for level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and of course level 6. And the further into the event we go, the more expensive the levels are going to get, the more complicated they're going to get, and these squiggles of lines will make sense, hopefully, after I explain them. So for example, this is level 2. And on level 2, I did actually have to open up 4 out of 5 chests on level 2, and I did this without checking through the cheapest paths on the map, because sometimes when you're going through a map, you're going to have, say, 2 chests, where if you go a certain way, then you'll already have had to have paid money on a tile anyway, or paid event currency on a tile, which overall makes certain paths cheaper, even though on paper, if you were to just do the basic calculations from the wiki's images, it would look more expensive. So the way that I've done these castle event maps and calculated which ones are the cheapest, you know, the wiki listed each of these chests as, you know, chest 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the order in which I think you should take on these chests based on the cost are listed with written numbers. So the first one here would be number 5, the second one would be number 4, the third one would be number 3, and so on. You know, this is going to be the case for every single castle map. And because we've got a lot of shared zones that don't actually impact on your decision making necessarily, I've also coloured in sections of black lines, as in these are going to be used for more than one chest. So a lot of the times it's the fact that you're going to have to go through that pathway anyway, so it's not really counted into the grand total. That's a sometimes but not always sort of situation. And let me explain what I mean. So this is of course level 3's map. Again, if I open up the actual game, you can see this is level 3, and without me doing any of the calculations or anything, I decided that I was going to go on over to this right hand side and take on this chest first. But if we go ahead and we check our level 3 map that I've got here, according to this map, the one that's actually the cheapest to go to first is the top left, which is why I've labelled it with a 1, because total, this path on the left will cost 1,343, not including the first, you know, 6 tiles or 7 tiles that are shared between everyone. So, as in, they're shared for all chests, so you have to go through those regardless, so it doesn't add up to the grand total costing for that chest. But now, because I've already gone to chest number 3 here, which would have been the second or third chest I could have gone to, that means it's actually going to be cheaper for me to now go to chest number 2, which is up on this side, and then probably going to be cheaper to go ahead and go over to the middle chest. But that's only because I didn't do it optimally this time around, which is why having these maps is so important. And you'll see that each of these pathways to each chest is a different colour. So we've got this first chest in the top left is a blue line with the total cost up there. Then for chests 2 and 3, those are purple lines, and each of them cost 1,170. but you have to account for getting there first. And then we've got number 4 in the middle, which is 698 currency to get to it, but it's on the way as you make your way over to chest number 5, being the most expensive at 1,395. But again, that includes 596 points here, 368 points there for getting there. But I hope this does make sense in a way. It's like, if you're going to make your way through, I've already made my way up to this point, which is why it's cheaper, instead of going all the way over to this one, it's cheaper for me to hit this chest now. And that is the benefit of actually doing the calculations for each level and, you know, working out exactly how much a certain route is, and also working out how much a certain route is, plus what it is to go through the shared tiles and make your way there first. Because going for the chests as quickly as you can and getting the key out of them is super important to finishing off this event. This is not an easy event, and it will continue to not be an easy event, and the more chests you have to open per level, the more expensive it's going to be. So again, I'm going to head towards this middle chest now, because I believe that that is going to be cheaper for us than going up that top left path immediately, only because I already went to the right hand side. And I'm going to go through the other levels in a second, so don't worry. Obviously, if you want to save them, you can always join the Discord server, because I posted them in there. And I also do recommend that you can, you know, just pause the video and take a screenshot as well if you want to, because it's going to be really important. So that is the gist of level 3. I've already sort of explained and shown you level 3 and the order in which you should take it on. One thing I will note is that I don't have the elements that are required for each of these fights here, because all of these calculations are done not taking into account if you have to skip fights. I am very lucky in the sense that I do not believe I'll have to skip a single fight in this whole event. So if you have these maps open, what I suggest is, say, if you're going to go to, I don't know, like chest number 2 and 3, for example, well, you have to go through battles to get the cheaper route for those. So what you can do is have the map open, see which path you're about to take. Say we go to level 3, and we'll check which location has which elements allowed. So if you are missing 1 or 2 elements on your team, and it just so happens that that's going to screw you over for a particular path, change the path that you're going to go on. You know, it is not rocket science, but people do not remember to do that sometimes, and it screws them over during events. So the wiki has all of the elements allowed for every single one of these red battles listed, so use it. And use it along with these maps that I've put together as well. So this was level 3. Again, we got level 2. Level 1 I didn't bother doing because you don't really need a guide for level 1. Then we've got level 4. And level 4 is a very, very strange layout. I do actually remember this layout from a previous event a long time ago. But it's strange because it's such a long map, and there are chests in the middle of the map, but they actually, one of them is actually the most expensive for all of this. So the first path that you're going to want to go to on level 4 is going to be this left hand side all the way to this chest out here. I've labelled this as chest number 1 because total this path costs 2,319, and this is including opening the chest to make your way down here. But then there's another chest that is a continuation on this path, and it's actually not cheaper to go down this pathway. It's cheaper for you to go, you know, start off on the left hand side, clear all the way down, and then it's cheaper to go way back to the beginning and go down on the right hand side, which is strange. So you're going to go left hand side, far right hand side on this level, which is why I've labelled it as number 2. So it's 1,674 plus 659 plus the 171, which is shared between chests 3 and 5 as well. So that's number 2. Then the next cheapest is the one right near the beginning. Number 4 is the chest right at the end, connected to number 1. And then the most expensive is the very middle chest on this level, which is 2,700 points, not including any of the shared areas. So that's what each of these individual colours represent, and they were all listed with written in numbers to show you which one you should go through and open first. So I hope that makes sense. Then moving on to level 5, another level that I actually really remember, it's quite vividly in my mind, is this one here. And this one has a lot of shared pathways, so this one gets very, very complicated. But I'm going to go through my reasoning as to why these chests on the right hand side, which initially look really cheap, sitting at say 2,400 points, is actually not going to be a good idea to go for them first. And the reason is you actually start in the middle here, which is just below where I've written in a 1. You start here, you go down, so obviously everyone has to go through those, and you've got the choice of going right or you've got the choice of going left. If you go to the right and take on each of these chests, then that's going to be 4,550 points for going left and 4,828 for going right, including these middle tiles. But if instead we go to the left, we have to go this way and we clear this chest, which is quite an expensive chest. But if we go through this left hand side first, then we make our way down, it's actually not that expensive to open up the other two because we've already made part of the way of the journey through. So that is why if we start off with this middle chest here and then we continue on and then go left and right, we're going to be better off. Or you can just go straight through and not even go for this middle chest straight away, and then just keep going, go left and then go right. You know, but this middle chest here is going to be the first one you're going to want to go for, and there are 2 battles in the way of that one. So again, if we open up the final journey and look at level 5, it shows us that primarily we have metal, shadow, divine, legendary, and void elements in these fights. So keep that in mind as you are doing level 5. But that is my recommendation to you. Go to the left hand side, completely clear off the left hand side first, come back and do the right hand side afterwards. And then finally we have level 6, which is another notorious level, which I actually bamboozled a lot of people in the past on this level. Because this is a really strange one in that you can see in the middle we've got a gigantic sun, and we've got 3 battles on the left, and we've also got 3 battles on the right, and it's all a big square, which means you don't want to be spending your currency on every single tile in the square, because you can actually miss a couple of them. You don't have to waste your event currency on them. So that's what these yellow lines are representing. We start at the bottom here, we go up, and then either you could go to the left and then go to the middle and up, or you can go to the right, back to the middle, and then up. And so I've calculated each of the costs for going left and up, and going right and up. If we go to the left and up, it's 6,517 event currency. If we go to the right, it's 6,181. So, it's interesting the difference that we can make between going that way. So if we go to the right, and then back to the middle and up, that is going to be the cheapest chest on this level, sitting at 6,181. Now, there are these other pathways that total, they come up to 5,049 and 5,711 in this blue pathway, which would look on paper cheaper than going this way. But we haven't cleared out the shared tiles to get to these chests, which actually come to a considerable amount. So, if we do it the order, we go to the top chest first, and then rather than spending tiles on the 691, 741 and 790 tiles here, we don't have to actually spend any currency on those, because we've unlocked the right hand side. So all that we need to do is clear out the 3 battles and this chest here, or this tile here, and then we can make our way to these sides. So we skip those 3 tiles in the center, and we never have to touch them. So, Then the cheapest one to go from here is going to be North, which is going to cost grand total 6,778. But again, that is including the cost of the shared tile. So then after you've done number 2, then you go down and then you hit this one, which is chest number 3. That's the 5,711. And then after you've cleared out this left-hand side, you'll start on the right-hand side. And it's cheaper to go right and then up, which is 5,484 for that. Just that section on its own. And then if you go south, that is going to be the most expensive chest in the event, sitting at 7,667. So again, if you want, I guess, the easiest way to look at these maps, rather than worry about any of the actual numbers, just look at the written in numbers that I've written in there. So the 1 to 5, this one is done in like a lime green, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then level 5, again, you can see the written in numbers are in light blue. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one, they're a little bit harder to see, but we've got 1 on the left, 2 on the right, 3 at the bottom, 4 at the top, 5 in the middle. So again, rather than trying to remember all this, you'll be better off just, taking the images and using them to your advantage. Again, I get that it can be very confusing, and plus, again, what we see on the actual maps that are posted here, if you were just to add up the numbers, it would look like what I'm telling you is complete malarkey. But again, because we're already going through certain paths and spending a certain amount of event currency to go through a certain path, we have to take that section off. Because obviously we don't have to spend money to go through that section again. That makes sense. I hope it does. Anyway, that is the gist of how you can finish off this castle event as quickly as possible. I do hope that I haven't utterly confused anyone that's new to these events, but it's just basic math. Pluses and minuses for tile costs. Not too difficult to work out, but if you do it wrong, you're going to hold yourself back massively. So that is my advice to you today. Use those maps, use the wiki to look at which fights you can actually do. Since I can do all of the fights, I'm just going to use it as it is. Whichever path is cheapest, I'm going to go down it. But if you cannot do any of the battles, sometimes it is worth to either skip the battles, which it rarely is, or to just go around them, which is not possible in every scenario. So it does depend on your team, it depends on you. It's like, if we're going to go to this chest here, because we can skip 2 of the tiles by doing the battles, we don't have to pay event currency for that. So it would be usually cheaper to go around and spend it on the tiles rather than skip the battles. So, yeah. That sucks for anyone that doesn't have the elements that they need, by the way. I really do feel for you. This event, we're cutting it down to like the final day worth of reset already. Because usually it looks like, we've got nearly 6 days left and we're already halfway through level 3 nearly. Like, surely we're nearly there, but level 6 takes about 2 days. Level 5 takes about a day and a half. Level 4 takes about a day. So if you minus all of that, that's already 1 day and a few hours remaining that we have. And we still haven't finished level 3 and we still haven't finished level 2. So, I am hoping for some good key RNG for you. I hope that you can get Loki and all the pieces of Chrono Chain, but it's not going to be easy. Unfortunately, I think they have made this event a little bit on the difficult side. Not gonna lie. So, using those event maps is crucial to your success. Anyway, moving on from the actual castle event information, I do also want to point out that with the Dragon Master Pass, we've already seen tons and tons of people hit 8,000 points free to play and unlock Apollo. Congrats to anyone that sat there for 6 hours just hatching fire dragon eggs. It really is amazing how many people have been saying, it's not possible to have 2,000 points yet free to play. It's like, it is. I barely even sat there for like an hour and a half and I'm already at 2,000. And we've got an entire month to finish off this Dragon Master Pass. So, the advice that I gave yesterday still sticks. If you're someone that doesn't have a Divine Dragon yet, just go with this Dragon Master Pass and hatch Fire Dragon eggs, unlock Apollo today, put them in your hatchery, hatch them in 4 days, use them on your team. Because it really is that simple. It is not difficult to unlock Apollo. He is the easiest Divine and the quickest Divine a person can unlock. Because, you know, we've got calendar events in the past where all that you have to do to unlock the dragons is, you know, just log in. But the difference with this Dragon Master Pass being the way it is the fact that you can do it whenever you want. So if you just sit there for 6 hours, you get yourself a Divine. You can do it whenever you want, whenever you're free. You don't have to rely on, you know, being at your computer or, you know, at your computer when Gameloft tells you that you should be on your computer, because it's not based on resets, because like the castle event, we've got 6-hour resets that we have to base our whole lives around. But with the Dragon Master Pass, you can do it whenever you want. So say you've got 5 hours free one afternoon. Just sit there and hatch Fire Dragon eggs and get yourself a Divine. It's that easy. Which is the reason why I was, you know, when they changed it in the Dragon Master Pass and said, oh, you know, commons don't count anymore, I was seething. Because I couldn't understand it. Give the players the choice. If someone just wants to get the Divine nice and quick, give them the option. I can't see any downside to making Divines like Apollo in a Dragon Master Pass quite easy to get for anyone that's dedicated. It's like, wait, you've spent a lot of time just doing this really laborious, repetitive task, and you want to be rewarded for it? Like, I know that that's a weird concept in DML language, you know, doing hard work and actually getting rewarded for it, but it does feel a lot like RuneScape, because for anyone that's ever played RuneScape, a lot of that game is just, you know, clicking, doing the same repetitive tasks over and over again, and getting level ups on your character, and that is essentially what it is. It's like allowing players to do that has finally implemented a core mechanic of how a different game works, and a more mainstream game. So it feels like DML is actually becoming, you know, not garbage when it allows things like that. Just allowing a lot of dedicated work to actually give rewards in game. I am all for that. And again, for anyone that's like, no, it's impossible free to play. We've got tons of people that have posted it in the Discord server. A lot of them being free to play. They've already hit 8,000 points. So it is more than doable. If I hit 2,000 points, not even really doing it very much, you know, 8k, easily doable within 1 day. I'm probably gonna upload exactly how many points we get for anyone that is still somehow skeptical and can't do basic maths. But I just want to let you know, I'm nearly at 2k. We got 26 days and 19 hours remaining. This pass is easy. Easiest thing in the world, dude. Just keep hatching Fire Dragon eggs. So I did accidentally throw a Firestorm Dragon egg in here, so I'm gonna hatch that and we'll get bonus points for it being a legendary, obviously. But leaving 2 hatchery slots open, hatching Fire Dragon eggs, and having a legendary or the War Dragons from the final Time Rift breeding in there, you know, you can do 2 things at once. That's if you've got a hatchery level 3 or above, of course. If you've got a higher level hatchery, just throw a bunch of fires in there anyway, I guess. But anyway, the main point of today was to show off those castle event maps. So again, I do wish you the very best of luck. Make sure you're breeding the correct dragons, make sure you're putting in the correct food, and make sure you are going to the right chests and doing it in the right order. Use your head. Don't just go into it, you know, just randomly go, okay, I'm just going to go to this chest. And it turns out it's the most expensive one in the whole map. Don't do that. You don't want to look like an idiot and destroy your chances of finishing this event. We've got Loki to get. We've got Chrono Chang to get. Don't ruin your chances. Anyway, for now, I appreciate you being here. Feel free to join our Discord server if you want to download all the maps. And until next time, I hope to see you then.